What in the world happened here? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that Medius button so you guys don't miss out more content. So this morning, most of you looked at the YCS breakdown that we posted, and you probably saw, oh boy, Artmage ended up winning a YCS with the help of two other friends, which is pretty amazing, but you already know all of this. This is a serious topic of discussion here because Medius is a card that impacts how many? Two more decks coming out? You've got Elf Note and you have Doomsy, which, by the way, if Medius the Pure just won a YCS because of Artmage, and you need Medius the Pure to go hand in hand with two more decks, well, crap. Maybe that means Medius is, and I mean, like, this could be, you know, maybe the card won't see any turbulent uptick because of this. But the reality of the situation is results have now been proven. We now have to worry about, you know, fallout and anticipation for other sets. And the fact that Medius dodged Rarity Collection, there's still the thought that we might see it in battles later on in June. But from where I'm sitting here, it's a pretty dangerous topic to see, like, if you want to build some of these other variations that play Medius the Pure in some sort of capacity for your deck building, you're about to have to spend ridiculous amounts of money. Now, this is nothing new. I mean, Dia Bellstar was the exact same situation before she received, you know, how many reprints. And the joke has already been, you know, can't wait for Alt Art Medius the Pure in 2027. Seriousness, though, I'd keep an eye on Medius today as more and more of these results kind of process through and, you know, the aftermath ensues. I want to talk about Draco Tale. So this one's quite an interesting topic of conversation as of late because Draco Tale has become extremely budget if you've not been kind of paying attention to what's going on with this. So Arthalions are $4 a piece. Lucinas are, I think I sell 5 a piece. Fimena's just got the reprint, which, you know, getting a Rarity Collection print just shoves that card into the ground. What is really left to be holding the Draco Tale core up on a pedestal? And the answer is not really anything. And this typically is a trend that happens. You know, obviously people know that the deck has ran its course at this point. We do typically notice that when people start to get a little bit giddy about a ban list potentially being around the corner, we start to see, you know, deck cores start to become extremely cheap commodities in terms of, you know, value that you can pick up on the secondary market, which is actually wonderful to think about. Now, you got to remember, if we do see, you know, a copy of the OCG list and we see Rahu go to 1, well, you know, that's going to probably be it for Draco Tale. But I found it very interesting just kind of rummaging through the current meta that Draco Tale cards have become way more affordable. And if you don't believe the ban list is going to actually do anything, well then, you know, this seems like a decent opportunity, I suppose, if you're going by that logic. But Fimena was really the final thing, really holding it up. And the minute that came through, you know, get your Fimenas at least so you can play Shadalls. That's the good one. Izunas are down to about $10 a piece. Now, this is another interesting topic of conversation because the TCG didn't get the limitations on the K9 side the way that, you know, the OCG did, which has kind of led people to kind of look at Izuna right now and go, are we going to do something about this in the future? Izuna is only as good as the hand traps within the format. I think most people kind of agree with that. I've also read a lot of comments from people going, ban Ripper. Ripper's the pro... I've played Sky Striker. Ripper's just a free pop through, man. You just clean it on up and go on along with your day. honestly, judging by how things have been, I mean, like, the K9 package was so cool, limited, and a lot of the other package the way it's been. I mean, a lot of people have already cut out the rank up spell stuff. Like, if you really want to do something, I mean, like, Izuna to 1 pretty much finishes the deck, but I don't think Konami's gonna do that. I feel like the K9 stuff has been the result of just a genuine shift in game philosophy. You know, you have to kind of rely on a package like this to kind of be able to, you know, exist. You know, we thought that Droll and Lockbird was untouchable in the TCG as it being our, you know, our Max C. But, you know, look at how we've already shifted about this. You know, Droll and Lockbird is currently limited to 2 here. And while the card is extremely broken still to this day, it's less impactful by, you know, just removing a percentile of options and availability for the card. So we're getting cheaper, which is good. Now, while we have downs, we have to have uppies. All right, and uppies have been Ultimate Dark Arm Dragon, and honestly, JD's not far behind. So the lowest listing on Dark Arm Dragon Ultimate Rares was about $650. And I mean, we've been seeing a lot of the back end has been going crazy right now. No, nobody's a stranger to looking at like the attempted buyouts on these OTS Ultimate Rares, but then there's a certain sector of these cards that we do have to acknowledge. You know, there is a chunk of things that do go up in value, and if you choose to just sit in your corner and be like, no, they're not actually going up, well, that's not true. All right, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game does actually have collectible value in it for certain things. Now, luxury, old, high rarity. I mean, you got Edison players out here that are still, you know, coveting. Look at how the Super OTS market holds up in comparison to a lot of the other sectors throughout the years. Like, this is nothing strange to be seeing over time. So, I know somebody's going to watch this and they're going to be like, why do I care about Ultimate Dark Arm Dragon? It's more or less a confidence thing. Just, you know, showing people that, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Brand, you know, the high rarity still is high. You know, there is still something about these luxury rarity cards that, you know, people are looking at, you know, they're going towards. And, you know, the collectors, you know, they want them. It just so happens that an Ultimate Dark Arm Dragon is, you know, probably one of the more luxurious items. Just go get a Ghoster. You'll feel the same way. Blazing Dominion. So, we should be beginning Blazing Dominion reveals very shortly. I like to remind people that when you have the calm before the storm, where you're able to, you know, you have an idea of what's coming already. You know, you have knowledge. You're allowed to do research. You're allowed to look into these things. Before these Blazing Dominion reveals hit the ground running, there's a small amount of time to kind of get things before they go up. Now, things like Cool Tunes unfortunately went up because Master Duel. Sea Monster Theseus went up because Master Duel figured out the counter to the thing. Art Mage with, well, Medius the Pure has gone up because of that. Elf Note, I mean, could get a lot worse. I'm not particularly sold on where that one's going to end up just yet. But the reality of the situation here is it's going to take some time to kind of see where the market's going to go with some of these things. I know, like, it's a bullshit answer to say, you know, like, I don't know it's going to go up. I mean, we know what the meta application stuff are. We know where those particular cards are going to go, but the wild card factors are always going to be the wildest ones to kind of, you know, have to factor in, because, you know, those can do anything at any time. So I'm a little bit curious where things are going to shift around for now. But please take a second to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And that's what in the world happened here this weekend. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.